wondering, how are you enjoying our festival?
I'm adoring it, I must say. Like, you always hear about Listowel Writers Festival, you know, from the first time. It's a decade ago since I've been writing, and I put out a book, you know, maybe 8 years ago. I was so excited. I started going around festivals, and then people tell you, have you been to Listowel or not? I said I hadn't. And I'd go to one, I'd go to Ennis, I'd go to Bantry, I'd go to Dublin, and I'd, you know, have you been to Listowel? And they say, you won't, there's nowhere else is like it. You will not experience it or know what it's like until you get here. And in some ways it was a good thing and a bad thing. They just say it's just the quality. Like, we're in the we're in the Listowel Arms, and out there everyone is reading. Out there there's like 100 people with books, just massively hungry reading. So that goes on during the day, but then the revelry at night. And that was the thing I'd been warned about, you know. The last few days, it really is. Like on your liver, your insides. And I don't party much. Yet every night here, I just haven't got to sleep before 2:30. And I'm teaching my students at 9 o'clock in the morning in the community college. And I'm normally the most sensible person, but there's something about Listowel. It's like, you know, it's like Brazil, it's like Copacabana. It's very dangerous, and I'm not sure I'm happy altogether, you know. It's overtaking me.
Fair enough, but I can't believe it's your first time to Writers' Week, considering you're basically a local yourself, hailing from out the road basically in Ballylongford.
Finally come back here, like exactly. So my family come from Ballylongford. They were the O'Rahillys on Kennelly's Crooked Cross. We were on one side of the Crooked Cross, Kennelly's were on the other. And then our first cousins were here from Listowel, just like the second house down from the hotel. And so all of my upbringing, I was told about life in Ballylongford, life in Listowel, cycling back and forth every day as they did. Yeah, exactly. And I'd sometimes come down with my grandmother, and, you know, we'd just go for a walk around, and Brian McMahon would come out, and John B would come out, and long chats. And I think, why does she know these people? This is my granny. And it's only when I came back here, I was here about 6 months ago, and I saw that plaque on the wall just down from the hotel, and I thought, that's who we're from. That's who we are. You know, I can escape up to Dublin. I'm living in Westmeath now, but it is such an honour to come back, and to come back with books. You know, with books I'm proud of to talk about.
That's great. And will you tell us a small bit about your event, Wanderlust?
Mm-hmm. So we're doing a travel writing event, and so my first 3 books were travel writing, were sort of travelogues, travel accounts. I then wrote a novel. But, you know, travel writing is the most ignored, the most hated, the most disparaged genre. And most festivals, you know, would not allow it in unless you were Paul Theroux, unless you were a Hollywood star. So when I realised that there was an opportunity that Listowel might put on an event for travel writing, because what I want of this event is to explode people's mind, to realise, to show them the potential of great travel writing. That it isn't tourists with typewriters. It isn't some tawdry thing to sell people cheap holidays. That travel writing at its best expands in people's minds. It's not about looking backward at the past, at history, which we're so obsessed about. This is seeing who we are. And on it, I have this, like, there's only 2 geniuses of travel writing in Ireland. One is Dervla Murphy, and the other is Mary Russell. And both are in their 70s now, but both revolutionised travel. You know, there weren't great men travellers in Ireland. It was these women. And on this panel with me is Mary Russell. And I want her perspective, because she was silent for a while. You know, her expertise is the Middle East. And so it's me, it's her, and there's this man called Brendan Harding, who I just met at another sort of writers' festival. He was at a course I was teaching. And you're always hoping when you're teaching students and you're teaching about travel writing that they will be the next great travel writer, you know. And if anyone, it is Brendan Harding. So I just love that the realm. We have the 74-year-old doyen of travel writing. You have the sort of mixed up, confused me in the middle, and then you've Brendan Harding, who could potentially bring Irish travel writing to a whole new dimension.
And how are you actually finding the workshops?
Workshops are a struggle. You know, writers do nothing. I don't do anything. And we hear about that teaching is hard, you know, and teaching is selfless. But you don't realise it until you do it. Just how selfless you become. You want to give every inch of your body to the students. And you're thinking, but I can't. You know, this is only 3 days, and there's so much to learn. There's so much to experience. So my whole thing is that this and previous travel writing workshops I give, it's just a jumping off point. So I give my email, I give my contact details, and then from the next year, you know, we can work together on things that we started in that course. I mean, it's the only way. Some people, in a class, half of them are just on holidays. It's just to do sort of an amusing thing, and they don't particularly want to get anything out of it, as long as it's relatively interesting. It's not totally boring for the 3 hours every morning. But some are desperately serious, and you can't tell them everything in 3 days. And you don't know how much. Do you want to just fill them, like at a publishing event? Do you fill them full of good news, saying there's great opportunities, or do you tell them reality? Do you tell them that I get, $2,000 for a book? A book takes 1.5 years, and you only get $2,000 as an advance, and that advance even never gets paid back. Or do you tell that with travel articles that the fee for them has slashed by 50% in the last few years, and will just keep on dropping? Maybe I don't tell that. I don't know. I'm still broken with this idea of how truthful to be to students.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're very committed to them.
Writing is so important to me. It's my life. It's like a rat gnawing away with something. And if I couldn't write, I would be severely depressed. And so anyone else, and I know how hard it was for me to dare to write. So anyone else who's starting to write anything, it doesn't matter. But if they're picking even travel writing for the moment, I just want to encourage them as much as they can. And also the thing is, writing is extraordinarily hard. Yeah. And we hoodwink ourselves at the start and we think we can do it. It just requires so much work. And so it's that idea to give them that conviction that it's just about re-editing, rewriting, reworking way more than you ever thought. And then finally, maybe it comes a little easier in time.
That's fantastic. Just one last question. Where's the most exciting place you've ever been? Bar Writers Week, sorry.
Exactly. If I could choose anywhere in the world that I would stay, it would be this place on the Ecuadorian-Peruvian border. It's called Vilcabamba. It's this valley of longevity. So there's 100-year-olds there whose parents are still alive. Nobody dies. Nobody gets old because the air is so pure. The water, the fruit, they eat very little meat. So it's organic vegetables, organic fruit, all growing in this valley for centuries. And these people have maintained this just pure, pristine life. And you just get lost. Anyone I tell to go there, and this was the advice I was given, if you go there, make sure you have a return ticket, because otherwise you will not leave. Paradise is such a horrible cliche, which I tell my students not to use, but it is paradise.